Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Craig Haupt, that old artsy guy. This episode, episode 60, watercolor. And a Throwback Thursday. Let's go. Okay, so last episode, I started a pen and ink watercolor drawing to update this 1992 Three Flowers drawing to make it better, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you progressive clips from start to finish. Once that's done, I'm going to then talk to you about some watercolor techniques in the pen and ink that I did. So let's start. Okay, folks, is it finished enough to show you it's finished? Yes. Is it finished? No. There's still more layering that I've got to do with the watercolors, but it's not going to change that drastically to what you just saw is finished. What I am going to show you is I'm going to show you my watercolor technique as opposed to the traditional watercolor technique. So I'm going to bring you in close up. The traditional way of watercolor is wet on wet. That's where you take your brush, get some water on it, wet your paper. Once that's wet, then you bring your watercolor over with your brush, then you lay it in so it spreads. And watercolorists that use this method have a lot of control over it. They're very good at it. And this is the wet on wet example using 3 different colors. But I don't do it that way. Mine is called wet on dry. So I'm just using wet watercolor onto dry paper. So what I end up doing is getting the watercolor on the brush, and then I dab it onto the napkin to get the consistency of wetness that I want onto the paper. And that allows me to control it to get the values, the shading that I want. And I'm layering it. What you're going to see now is several layers of watercolor. Sometimes I'll let it dry over a day or so that the paper fibers tighten up a little bit, and then I'll go over it again, like what I'm going to be doing with these 3 flowers. I'll wait for a couple days, and then I'm going to go in there and go over some colors. This is about 3 different variations of green and 2 other colors with about maybe 10 to 12 layers of dabbing, layer of color over layer. Okay. Sort of a Throwback Thursday time. This is another one of the paintings, of the 9 paintings that were in the solo art exhibition. This one's titled Eye to Eye. It's a 16 by 20, or 20 by 16, since you do the height first, and it's an oil on board. And that's it, folks. Episode 60 in the can. Next episode, the oil painting, art storybook. Sort of Throwback Thursday. So I hope to see you again. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. The little red button down there. Until then, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.